Alright guys, it is day 2 of me trying the Uber Eats Pro program in my market. I went out last night, which was Saturday evening, and was actually really surprised on how it went. I was expecting the worst, and it actually seems to be about the same, but that was day 1, that was yesterday. I want to try it again and see if I have the same results, the same experience. So typically when I come out here with my lower acceptance rate, I get a bunch of declines and then eventually a reasonable offer, then a bunch of declines and a reasonable offer. So currently my acceptance rate is sitting at 21%. So after I do a few offers, I'll let you guys know what my acceptance rate ends up being at. But we're gonna see what type of offers I get tonight. It is a hotter night tonight. It is 97 degrees. It has not been this hot yet. Usually in August it gets this hot. So typically when it's hotter, I do tend to see more offers. People aren't wanting to go outside and barbecue. They're wanting to stay in the house and they're not wanting to cook. So typically you can get more offers, but of course that's not always the case. So we're gonna see how tonight goes and what type of offers I get. Also, here's the Uber Eats Pro requirements, just in case you're not familiar with it. I am currently in the green. Like I've said before, I'm only gonna accept what offers make sense for me and decline the unreasonable. So I'm gonna get the apps turned on. I'm gonna let you guys know what Uber Eats sends my way, and hopefully I'll get a reasonable offer within a reasonable amount of time. I'll let you guys know. All right guys, so I am getting a ton of orders from Uber Eats back to back to back to back, but they're either way too far out of my zone of where I want to go, or the pay's just not there. It's just not meeting my criteria. Here's just a sample of what Uber Eats is sending me, but like I had expected, because it's hotter out, the offers are coming in. Here's one of them, $7.89 for 7.7 miles. That was a decline for me. And then here's another one, $15.08. Sounds nice, but it was 10.4 miles. It was gonna send me into another city. And once you go out there, you're gonna keep going out further, at least from my experience, and then eventually in the night you're pretty far out, and then you have to come all the way back to your area. I don't like going too far out of my zone. I usually like to stick around the 6 or 7 miles as my max mileage, unless I know where it's going and it's gonna kind of still keep me within my vicinity. But this one wasn't. The miles are just too high for me for the pay, so that was a decline for me. And then here's the typical $2 offers for 1.3 miles. That's an automatic decline. And so I said, you know what, let me turn on DoorDash, see what they're bringing in. If Uber Eats is bringing in offers like this, I'm sure DoorDash has to be busy. Again, it's hot out. So I turned on DoorDash and I got this offer, $9 for 4.2 miles for Little Caesars Pizza. Now I am here, I pull in and they give me this add-on for $7.50 for an additional 1.8 miles. The offers are coming in. Of course, I didn't get a reasonable one, at least one that fit in my criteria from Uber Eats, but DoorDash came through. So we're gonna go pick up these DoorDash orders and then go drop them off, and then I'll turn Uber Eats back on and see if I can get something reasonable from them. We're heading into Little Caesars. Pickup.
Angel?
No, I did my Megan for my code.
Interesting. I was like,
which one are you doing? Angel?
yeah,
It should be, the name should be.
it was there.
Oh,
it was at number 3 and disappeared just now. So it was just in there, and
I'm gonna squeeze in front of you guys.
it was in number 3 under Angel, and then.
All right, guys, both my orders were ready in the portal. Can get a little chaotic in Little Caesars. Every time I come here, it's always busy. And so I got my first order, put it in my hot bag, and I'm getting my second order out. And my customer just had one pizza, put the code in, and then there's another driver, another DoorDash driver in there that's saying that's their portal, thinking that I had pulled their order out, but of course the code goes to my portal. I put it in and opened it up, and the name on the pizza matches my customer. So I'm not sure what she's talking about, but she's talking to one of the workers in there. I guess she's gonna have to figure it out, but hey, it's my code and it opened the portal and I got the customer's pizza and it says their name on it. So I'm not sure what's going on her end, but everything thankfully lined up on my end. So customer is 4 minutes, 1.22 miles. We're on our way for the first drop off. It's the customer with 1 pizza. Hi there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. There you are.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. All right, guys, first orders dropped off. It was a hand it to me, and I did message them when I had arrived. I'm here, and I'm walking up to the door, and she came right out her door, handed her her pizza, so I'm sure she'll be happy about that. So the second drop off is 13 minutes, 4.46 miles, and I believe it's another hand it to me. I was thinking it was a leave it door, but it's a hand it to me, so I'll do the same thing when I arrive. Let them know I arrived. We're on our way. There you are. Appreciate you coming out. Have a good night. Thanks. All right, guys, got the last pizza order dropped off. So this was in an apartment complex. I'm coming around the corner, and the customer's apartment's supposed to be on the corner, but there's like a car sitting in the middle of the road, and I'm trying to maneuver one around the car and also try to find or confirm that it is their apartment. Well, anyways, I couldn't because of how I was angled trying to get around the car. So I'm driving past and I look over and I see the customer come out their door. They're kind of waving. So I turned around. Very nice of them to come out because it's kind of hard to see where I was at. Turned around, got them their order. So they should be happy to have their pizza order. We're gonna get out of this complex. I'm gonna get Uber Eats turned back on, and we're gonna see what they bring me. Hopefully a reasonable offer so I can accept one. But so far with Uber Eats, based on yesterday and today with all the offers coming in, they're not like backwards offers that I was getting, at least some of them, but some of them were just trying to take me way too far out. But the offers seem to be what I had been getting before, and yesterday I was doing my declines and then accepting, you know, reasonable offers, and then the declines, the typical. So everything seems to be about the same, and my acceptance rate went up a couple points yesterday. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna get out of this complex and I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, so the Uber Eats offers are coming in again, a ton of offers back to back. Here's one of them, $6.32 for 3 miles. Now this fits my criteria. Like I said, I like to stay within the $2 per mile ratio, give or take, but it was for the Panda Express that tends to take their time. I went there yesterday, I ended up having to unassign an offer from them because there's no communication of how long it's gonna be. There was a couple other drivers standing in there. I didn't want a repeat of last night, so I avoided it, rolled the dice, held out. Here's another example of a decline I had, $6.08 for 5.1 miles. That was a no-go. And then finally I got an offer, Trip Radar, $17, or excuse me, it would have been nice if it was $17, $7.16 for 2.6 miles for Carl's Jr. So we are here. They have a history at least having the order ready or close to being ready. It's never really busy here, so I don't mind taking offers from them. And I matched with it, which was nice because sometimes with the Trip Radar is a good one. Sometimes you don't match, sometimes you do, and I matched for it. So we're gonna go in there and check on this order. It should be ready or close to being ready. Perfect. Hi. My order. Thank you. Order was waiting for me on the counter, which is awesome, and the drink, which is perfect. Customer is 7 minutes, 2.3 miles. They seem to be in an apartment, and we're on our way. Hello? Hello? Hi, this is Bree with your Uber Eats order. I'm at your apartment complex. The apartment number that I have in the notes is 448, but I don't see a 448.
Oh, okay. I don't know what is it, 448, but the building number is...
Okay, I'm at that building.
Okay, so the apartment is...
Oh, perfect. Okay, I see you. I am right here. Do you want me to,
okay.
do you want me to leave it at your door, or you want to come out and grab it?
I'll come out.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hi. There's the drink.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And the food. There you are. Have a good night. Bye-bye. So I get to the apartment complex, and these are like smaller buildings. There's only a couple units in each building. There's only floor 1 and floor 2. Well, the unit number that I was given indicates that it's on a 4th floor, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, am I missing something? I'm at the right building. I confirmed it with my eyes because, you know, sometimes the pinpoint can be off, and I'm like, I'm not seeing. I walked around the back of the building and nothing. So I called the customer and explained that I'm looking for such and such apartment, and he tells me he's not sure why it says that. He told me which apartment he was in, and because I'm standing in the courtyard, and again, there's not very many units in the building, I'm like standing right in front of his apartment, and it is a meet at door, and so I was like, do you want me to just leave it by the door, or you want to come out? Anyways, he ended up sending his kid out to grab the order. Not sure why he has a totally different apartment number in there. Doesn't even correspond with his building. Hopefully he changes that, but at least I was at the right building. Anyways, orders dropped off, but when it comes to Uber Eats and their new Pro program, at least in my market, based on yesterday, based on today of what I'm seeing, it seems the same. I don't see any difference, at least for me. I have a lower acceptance rate. Let me see what my acceptance rate is right now. Speaking of acceptance rate, I'm at 20%. So I dropped down a percentage, which is no big deal. Again, I'm just gonna accept what's reasonable for me, decline the unreasonable. I'm not gonna chase the acceptance rate. And again, when you come out here, you're out here to make money. You're not out here to lose money, and the best thing to do is to multi-app, like I had to turn on DoorDash because the offers that were coming in with Uber Eats just weren't cutting it for me. It wasn't fitting within my criteria. DoorDash got the wheels to move, and then Uber Eats came through. That's how you gotta kind of do it. You gotta do what works best for you in your market. Now, if you have the new Uber Eats Pro program in your market, please let me know how it's going. I'd love to hear from you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys right here. Always so much appreciate you guys riding along with me as always, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye guys.